If you own a business, then you already know the sinking feeling that you get in the pit of your stomach when setbacks occur in your business. They hit without warning, from one email, one phone call, one staff member quitting, or even one unexpected bill. And then suddenly you're thinking, how did everything change in 5 minutes? But I can promise you this, business setbacks, they're guaranteed. In good times, bad times, it doesn't matter. But the difference between the people who grow and the people who quit, they all come down to how you respond. And today, I'm going to show you how to turn business setbacks into opportunities every single time. And after being in business for 30 years, I've encountered pretty much every setback that you can imagine, from cash flow problems, losing clients, hiring the wrong people, economic shifts, and that's just to name a few. And I've been through all of it, but I've come out stronger every time. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the types of business setbacks that owners face every single day, how to overcome business setbacks, how to cope mentally when everything hits at once, and how to turn any setback into opportunities for growth. My name is G-Cornell, and this channel is dedicated to helping people create their own destinies. I've been in business for 30 years, helping brands sell more of their products and services. So whether you're a young adult, trying to find your path, or an entrepreneur looking to grow your business, I will show you how to cope and succeed in your journey whilst enjoying it along the way. So let's get into it. Setbacks happen without warning. And here's the first thing that you need to understand. Setbacks, they don't give you notice. You don't get an email saying, hey Rich, just letting you know that your business is about to go sideways, say next Tuesday at 11:43 a.m. No, it's sudden, it's inconvenient, it's really overwhelming, and it can shake even the most confident business owners to their core. But here's something that I want you to understand. A setback, it's not a sign that your business is failing. It's a sign that you're in business, and those setbacks are the business. It's just the way it is. Business isn't meant to be perfect, and it doesn't discriminate no matter who you are or how much money that you have. It happens to all of us, and the sooner that you accept this, the sooner you will understand that business setbacks, they have to be expected. Setbacks happen in good times and bad times. Now, most people think setbacks only happen when times are tough, okay? Well, that's not the case. But even when things are going well, you can then get complacency setbacks. You relax too much. Cash flow is strong, so you spend more. You hire too fast. You skip the due diligence. Your standards drops, Good times can be just as dangerous as the bad times. And to be fair, I think the good times in business are when you should be on your guard even more. So the goal shouldn't be to avoid the setback. The goal is to prepare for them, expect them, and build systems around them. Because the day you believe that you're, say, safe in business, it's the day that you're most at risk. And believe me, feeling safe in business, if I had to categorize them from, say, smallest setback to the biggest, would probably be one of the highest on my overall threats to any business. The 7 types of business setbacks that you might experience. Now, let's talk about the setbacks that business owners face each and every week, okay? And even including the ones that no one really likes to admit publicly. Business setback number 1, staffing setbacks. Staff quitting without notice, or even quitting when everything seems to be running fine, and then bam, they give you notice at a time when it's not that easy to rehire quickly, or staff not performing as to be expected. You've hired someone who looked great on paper, their references all checked out, they passed all your initial tests, but then they turned out to be a disaster in real life. And let me tell you from experience, when it comes to staffing and cultural issues, these types of setbacks, they can truly drain your energy. Staff setbacks are brutal for any business because they're not, only impact your time and money, they also rob you of momentum. Business setback number 2, cash flow problems. Now, without adequate cash flow in your business, it simply can't survive. And cash flow setbacks are probably the number 1 business setback any business will experience, from not getting paid on time, to having periods in your business where, clients are simply not spending enough, to unexpected drops in revenue, which may be due to, say, economic downturns, or as most businesses would have experienced lately, business expenses rapidly increasing from, say, inflation and other global influences. Cash flow setbacks can feel like a chokehold in your business and can keep even the most seasoned business owners up at night with worry. Which brings me to business setback number 3, losing clients. No business owner likes losing clients, whether they're big or small, and especially when you lose a client when you least expect it, or even worse, when you might be achieving tremendous results for your client's business, yet you lose them anyway. Or the client you lost may have gone out of business, or a competitor has undercut you, or you may have lost a client who you had a good relationship with. Either way, there are certain things that are simply out of your control, and losing a client when you least expect it can wipe out months of progress and might even take you months or even years to recover from. Business setback number 4, unexpected costs. Now, these types of business setbacks also hit without warning, from urgent repairs, equipment failures, legal fees, marketing campaigns that didn't achieve the desired results, or even increased software costs, and my personal favorite, unexpected tax surprises. Now, these are the setbacks that hurt because they always seem to rear their ugly heads at the worst times, and usually when your cash flow is not the greatest, when you're struggling to get by. Business setback number 5, economic shifts. Now, we've all experienced the terrible effects from rising inflation in the last few years, and from there, interest rates increased as a result. There weren't too many businesses that were immune from these increases, not to mention global events like wars or tariffs. Additionally, new regulations and industry shifts which completely changed consumer behavior and how people held onto their money for longer. These are the types of setbacks that you can't control, but every business must be able to adapt and adapt quickly. And speaking from experience, I have to admit that the sharp interest rate rise played havoc with my own businesses. The pace at which interest rates increased, it caught a lot of people off guard, personally and in business, but I was able to adjust and withstand it, but I still experienced sudden loss of clients, staff who needed more money just to survive, and also found it more difficult to attract clients in a shorter period of time. So believe me when I say this, this has happened once and it will more than likely happen again. And as much as I hate alarmism, you need to be prepared for the worst all the time, just to make sure that you're ready for when it happens again. Which brings me to business setback number 6, health and personal life. No one talks about this enough, not even me, but if you go back and watch some of the earlier videos I made, you'll see a video titled, I made the biggest mistake in my business. And if you haven't watched it yet, then I highly recommend that you take a look, because this is where I had a very sudden life-threatening motorbike accident where it completely rocked my world. I thought I was prepared for anything like this should it ever occur, but there was one thing that I wasn't prepared for, and without giving too much away, it taught me the biggest lesson that I've probably learned in 30 years of business. So go and check it out, as I hope it can help others learn from my mistake. Or what about burnout, illnesses, family stresses, or mental fatigue? Your personal life absolutely affects your business performance, and I don't even need to tell you that if your personal life isn't running smoothly, then sure as I'm sitting here, your business, it won't run as smoothly as a result. Business setback number 7, other setbacks. And wait, there's more. And how, you might ask? And as much as I hate going on with more, I wouldn't be doing my job unless I mention some more business setbacks that will more than likely affect everyone here. From supplier issues, stock shortages, cyber problems, overexpansion, hiring the wrong mentor or choosing the wrong agency, poor leadership, and I think I could stop here because trust me, there are more, but I want you to know that all of the setbacks are normal, they are common, and they will keep happening. But none of that means that your business is failing, okay? They just highlight the need that they exist and that you need to somehow prepare for the inevitable. How to cope mentally with setbacks. This is the part business owners struggle with the most, and that's the mental game. Because to be fair, the setback itself, it isn't usually what breaks you. It's the story that you tell yourself about the setback. And the following steps highlight what you can implement to reduce your stress levels so you can cope with these setback stresses as they arrive. First, slow down your reaction. Never, and I repeat, never make business decisions in panic mode or when you're all fired up. Take a breath, take a moment, grasp what's happened, and try to separate your emotion from the event. Look at the setback for what it is. Look at data. A setback, more often than not, isn't personal. It's information on something that wasn't working or something that is out of your hands but still needs to be addressed. When you reframe setbacks as data, you take your power and control back. Get honest about what caused a setback. You really need to be honest with yourself here. Ask yourself, was a setback avoidable? Was it predictable? And did I see it coming? Was it caused by, say, a lack of systems, a lack of accountability, or even a lack of discipline? There is no point going through the emotional turmoil of setbacks without addressing it or learning from it. And this is where growth comes from. Lean on someone who's been there, Setbacks feel heavier when you carry them alone. If you have the ability to share your setbacks with someone who understands, then you'll be able to cope better. So don't be afraid to talk and communicate. Next, protect your health. If you burn out, your business burns out. It's as simple as that. Remember that your business needs you and everything that you bring. So protect your health as best you can, because this is where a lot of business owners fail to see the ramifications what poor health will bring to your business. Setbacks create opportunities. And here's how. Here's the most part people don't see. And to be honest, I have also fallen into this category over the years, and that is that every business setback provides an opportunity, but only if you look for it. Setbacks reveal weaknesses in your business, whether a system breaks, if your cash flow collapses, if a client leaves, if a bad hire fails, then that setback is usually showing you areas of weaknesses which must be addressed. This is where you should use that weakness or setback to plug that hole and find solutions to make your business stronger than before. Setbacks force innovation. When I mentioned earlier that sometimes, it's more dangerous for your business when things are running smoothly, that this can create complacency. Well, this is when your business may remain stagnant. It's these times, where you're not innovating or not constantly looking for ways to improve your business that will cause more setbacks. And some of the biggest business breakthroughs come, when you're forced to change. Setbacks expose who's really loyal in your business. It's vital to know who's with you and who's against you. And you'll learn very quickly who's with you and who was only with you when things are running, smoothly, so to speak. So make this a key driver of your business to employ a loyal team and a team that sees and believes in your vision. Setbacks push you towards the decision that you've been avoiding. And sometimes the setback, it's not punishment, it's direction. It's the universe's way of telling you that you should have made this decision some time ago. So don't put it off. And certainly listen to your gut, because only you know the truth. And there is no point lying to yourself just because it might seem, all too hard to address. Setbacks can redirect you to a better opportunity. You lose that special client, but now you've picked up a bigger and better client. You've had a failing product, but you never gave it much thought. Well, now you've addressed it and developed a better product, or you thought your business strategy was on point, yet you are not hitting your targets. Well, now you've addressed it and created a better strategy, which is now achieving its goals. Or you were focusing on a particular market segment that was doing okay, but you kept flogging that dead horse. Well, now that's forced you to explore alternate markets, and your business is better for it. Just know that some setbacks are actually blessings in disguise, and this is how you'll actually grow. How to turn any setback into an opportunity. Now, once you've received that bad news, where you thought, your whole world was crashing down, but you remained calm and you didn't react to it in haste, it's now time to implement a plan of attack. And this is the formula that I use in my own businesses and have been doing so for decades. And it doesn't matter, whether the setback is, say, big or small, the same rules apply here. Setback opportunity number 1, identify the real problem. Most problems are usually symptoms, not causes. A staff member quitting might reveal a cultural issue that may have been simmering in silence for some time. A cash flow crisis might reveal poor pricing or lack of collecting money quicker, or even show you that your expenses are too high. A client leaving might reveal a communication gap, or even a small reminder that that client may have been taking up way too much of your time and resources, or it might have shown that your business was too reliant on that client. Either way, these symptoms are the first steps for recovery. Step back opportunity number 2, remove the ego. Remember that ego keeps the wrong clients. Ego holds on to the wrong staff. Ego ignores the obvious problems in your business and keeps telling you that everything is fine and that there is nothing to worry about or improve. You really need to let that ego go, because ego can be seriously disruptive to your business, and more often than not, the business owners who don't identify ego are usually the ones who blame others when their businesses fail. Which brings me to setback number 3, create a setback plan of attack. Write down clearly what happened, why it happened, what it exposed, and most importantly, what needs to change. These 4 simple steps, they're going to put you on the right path. Setback opportunity number 4, build the opportunities. Do you need to increase your prices? Do you need to develop, a new and improved product? Do you need to reposition yourself in the market? Or do you need to look for better employees? Do you need to implement a better process? Do you need to create better systems? Or do you need to create a better working culture? You can see how the list goes on here and how there are always things to improve in your business. And lastly, setback opportunity number 5, track the growth created by the setback. And once you have identified the symptoms, challenges, and implemented the solutions, it's now time to track and measure the improvements, because nothing motivates a business owner more than seeing that setback become the turning point for growth. And I can honestly tell you this, that once you're able to turn a negative into a positive, you'll get so much satisfaction. But more importantly, you'll be proud of your growth as you're moving forward. You'll be able to look back on some of the business setbacks with confidence that you were able to, remain calm. And these will remain in your memory bank for later, because trust me, there is definitely going to be a later in business. Now this wraps up my video today. And here's what I want you to remember. Setbacks, they shouldn't stop you. They should shape you. Setbacks are all part of the journey, and there is nothing more important for a business owner to experience them and learn from them. So you can be the business owner that you want to become. They force innovation, they force patience and resilience, and sometimes, as bad as that setback may seem, just remember that it's simply pushing you towards a much bigger opportunity that you may not have thought be possible. And as the saying goes, one door closes, another one opens. So if you can master the skill, or at least get better at trying to follow this way of turning business setbacks into opportunities, then trust me, you and your business will be unstoppable. And feel free to leave a comment, about your most recent setback that you struggled with, and if you were able to overcome it, as I would love to read it. And if this video helped you in any way, please hit like and subscribe, as I'm going to keep sharing real, practical advice to help your business flourish. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.